Hey, I think I'm going. So hey everybody. Um, so this is gonna be I guess the part two. Got some corrections to make, some retractions to make, and just a couple statements. So first thing I want to get off of the air is, um, last night I went into a chat, because I said something that I shouldn't have. I repeated something, excuse me, that I shouldn't have about people that I didn't know. Um, I'm the first person to get Pavelchi when um, subs come in and just blurt stuff out that they don't know is true because, as it was said to me last night, and I 100% agree, whether it's true or not, when you put it out in the ether, it becomes fact real fast. And I had said in um, Molly Golightly's chat, I'd read a comment, and I don't remember if it was, I thought it was in that live that she was doing. But I haven't had a chance to rewatch the video, so I'm not going to be quoting myself word for word or anybody. But someone had come in and said that Bombshell had driven by Michelle's house and that she was in the car with Savage. I don't know Bombshell. I don't know Savage. And I read it out loud. And I shouldn't have because I didn't know if that was true. And it was one of those things where afterwards I did think about it and I thought, I don't know either of those two, but I mean, if you're part of this community, you hear about them. And I didn't see the two of them being connected in any way. So, not last night, but the night before, I thought, and I'm going to get into into this next part too, and it'll be kind of funny. But, I decided to do some investigating because I'm an investigator. And I went and I found, um, Clip Channel had a clip of Michelle talking about it, the situation, and she claimed that it was um, Bombshell and Mo. Now, I don't know if the story's true. I don't care if it's true. I don't know any of these people, but I do want to correct myself because, um, again, and I believe that once I said it, that Marissa even said, are you sure? Because I can't see those two running together or something along the lines of that. And so, yeah, so there it is. I mean, I do apologize. I made a mistake and I really am someone who, um, I would rather not put anything out at all if I don't know for sure it's the truth when I'm doing my own videos. And it's kind of funny because one of the things that I went into the chat and I told what I did, because Molly was getting blamed for it, and she's not the one that said it. I was. And whether you like her or you don't like her, um, I don't ever want anyone else getting blamed for something that I said, whether it's a channel or it's a subscriber. And I do believe that when we're subs and we go into other people's chats and we talk about certain things, we do have a responsibility. We do. Because again, once you say something online, you can't pull it back in. And we see this all over social media, the experiments that schools do, where at the beginning of the year when they're trying to teach cybersecurity, the posts that, here, please share this, like this, in a week or at the end of the year, we're going to revisit this and see just how many people saw this one post that someone posted. And it literally, some of those posts get up into the millions within weeks. And so, when you're sitting in a chat that has 500 people in it, and there's only really about 20 or 30 people talking, that's 480, 470 people that are still listening to what you say. And who knows where they're going next to say what you just said. And so, yeah. Um, now, Another thing, the Davis family. I'm talking to you. You made me laugh my butt off this morning, okay? Because I'm new at this, okay? That was my first time ever camming up. I felt so awkward, but I felt like I couldn't deliver the message that I needed to deliver and not have my face showing because that would have been kind of hypocritical. And I called myself an investigator. And like now I'm laughing about that because I know I didn't mean investigator. Like I'm not like super cutsy, like, you know, unprivate private PI or anything like that. That's not me. But I am maybe a researcher. I am a data nerd. I'm a fact nerd. And so I am a pain in the butt because you can tell me something and I'm not going to take somebody's word for it. I have to go find out for myself. I've always been that way, whether it be touching a hot stove or it be something somebody said or it be an old wives' tale of, do this for your kids when they have an ear infection, whatever it is. I'm not going to just be like, oh, okay, somebody told me this. And so I go and I try and find information like with the stories that I do because okay, so I went in that chat. This is kind of funny too, and this kind of has to do with that too. But I went in Jen's chat last night because that's where they were talking about this, about what I had said, and and they didn't know it was me that said it. They just knew that someone, because I was on the phone, I wasn't on StreamYard when I said this. And so um I went in there to clear the air because I'm a lot of things, but one of the things I am is honest. And I don't tell stories. I don't have any reason to. I don't have time to make up stories. So anyway, and if I do something wrong, I have absolutely no problem holding myself accountable for it and learning my lesson from it and not doing it again. And so a lot of you have no idea who I am. And I started this channel back in January. January. And I've gotten tons of comments saying, I had no idea who you were, blah, blah, blah. And I did not expect this last video that I did to get the attention that it did. Let's say that. I thought maybe my normal, you know, 50 views, whatever, they were going to see it. The people that it was aimed towards were going to see it, hopefully. And I was going to get my voice out to them about how I felt about what happened. And maybe spread a little awareness to the people that do watch me so that they didn't have to learn a harder lesson than what I learned. And nothing happened to me. I'm all right. I'm not some big wuss. I mean, somebody lied to me. Okay, my Fifi's got hurt because I got lied to. But I'm going to be all right. My life doesn't change because of it. Well, it does because I am smarter about how open I am to whoever I am. And, I'm smarter about being able to be friends with people, but still being able to, always know that at any moment something could happen. And that's just life. And that doesn't even have to do with just people on the internet. That's people that you meet in real life too. And at least on the internet, it's a little bit easier because you can kind of just shut that off if something happens. You can just shut it off. You really can just log off and walk away. Even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes, you can. And so there's that. So thank you, Davis fam, because I listened back to that and I realized that I sounded like a complete dork, and that's not what I meant. But I had a really rough night with my little guy last night. Uh, he listens to classical music on YouTube at night, and it's a dark screen video that's like 10 hours long that I play for him. And for whatever reason, our premium wasn't working last night, and for like about an hour. Well, of course, it was right when he had to go to bed. And I went to go turn on his classical music, and an ad came on. It was for like one of those, like, it was a horror movie, like The Nun or something. So here comes this giant, scary lady screaming right at his little baby face. And he was scared. And so we had quite the night last night. So yeah, and I was tired and grumpy when I woke up, and my coffee maker is being a jerk, and so yeah, I needed to laugh at myself. And that's something else I can do, you know. Let's go into this next segue is 98% of the people on that commented on my video were nice. You know, some people were trying to look out for me, and I understand that. Um, First and foremost, Marissa is my friend, Molly is my friend, but we are two different people. And I'm not her cheerleader, and she's not mine. I mean, we are to each other to give support as friends to each other, but she's not on here to defend me and my actions, and I'm not here to defend her and her actions. We don't do that. And this channel has absolutely nothing to do with her other than that video was because it was her Patreon that I met this person in. That's it. Where I stupidly believed I had a little bit more chance of privacy and trust in someone that I met in there versus just someone that I met out in regular YouTube. And that's it. That's really it. And what she has going with this person, I'm not involved in. I'm involved in my own issue with this person and the other person that I mentioned. And that's really it. You know, I'm never anyone that's ever going to be told who I can and cannot watch by anyone. And that's the quickest way for me to shut you out. So, and the people that I'm friends with would never do that. And I do watch a lot of creators, and I don't speak because I simply just don't know people in chat. And maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but sometimes I feel like if I go in there with a bunch of people that know each other and they're talking about something and I come in, then I'm being intrusive in a way sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. If I see someone that I know or that I've seen or talked to before, I'll usually jump in and be like, hey, you know, how's it going? But other than that, I really stay in my own lane. And my channel was created because, as someone so lovingly pointed out yesterday, which I want to thank you because I really and truly had absolutely no idea. And I am going to tell you guys something, and you're not going to believe me, but I found something else about myself yesterday. And to say I was shocked is an understatement. I found out yesterday that I'm fat. I had no idea. I have been walking around for the last year like a skinny person. And let me tell you, there's some friends that are going to hear it because they should have told me. They should have told me. So, of course, I'm freaking joking, but you know, you can say what you want. You can criticize the videos that I've done. You can criticize whatever, but to go after my weight where someone else made fun, another commenter made fun of someone else telling me that she thought I was cute. Yeah. I really am not hurt by those things. And I think they both were a little miffed that I wasn't hurt. And I think that's hilarious because, first of all, no one that is happy or successful would go to someone else's social media or walk up to them or go into their work or do whatever and just say, you need to go to the gym. cute. Yeah, all right. You wouldn't do that. I don't do that. I mean, do I see ugly people during the day? Absolutely. Uh, the one that applauded the girl that told me I needed to go to the gym. Dobby, go play with your sock, okay? Because wow. I mean, why would you do that to another person? And let me also say two things about that is that I did delete your comment, not because you hurt me, not because I was shocked that I'm obese, not for any other reason. I don't even know who you are. I read the name 60 times. I screenshotted it. I asked other people. I'm like, who the F is this tool bag? Nobody knew. So you're irrelevant. But what I didn't want is one of the things my page is about self-care, because I am in the beauty industry and it's about taking care of yourself. And it's about feeling good about yourself. And you have to wake up every day and choose to love yourself. And that's really hard to do some days. And it took me a very long time to realize that living and worrying about what other people say does absolutely nothing for me. That you not liking me and hating me, that's a bunch of negativity that you are carrying around, not me. Okay? You're sitting over there in your home with this ball of whatever right here. And you are destroying yourself feeling that way about other people. Because you say it, you say what you want to say, and it's out of sight, out of mind for me. I mean, I had to say something about it though, because I blocked you, and then I realized that what I typed in wasn't going to show up. So, um, and if you're the troll that I think you are, then you're probably still watching this, even though you're not allowed to comment anymore. But anyway, I've got women on my page that find it extremely hard to wake up every day and love themselves. And I'm not going to have that bullshit on my page, flat out. If you want to come at me and you want to have a real conversation with me, you're absolutely welcome. I don't have to like the same people that you like. I don't have to watch, and you don't have to like the same people I like and watch. I don't care. I don't judge people for that. I have no problem having a conversation with somebody that I don't necessarily 100% agree with. I welcome it actually, because those become some of the best conversations where both sides learn something. Usually, if you can do it like an adult and not argue like a little fool. So, yes, I hope you both feel better that you spewed some of the negative hatred out of your soul that you needed to. And I hope you replace that with some positivity. It's simple. Because again, no one that's happy, that's truly happy or successful, needs to do that to another person. Okay? Have a nice life. So, the lady that accused me of hiding comments, I didn't hide any comments. I have no reason to hide comments. In fact, if you say something that's rude or weird, I'm going to leave it up there. First of all, comments are engagement. And engagement helps get me out in that algorithm. So whether you love me or hate me, you're helping me. Okay? So thank you. It was a 16 comment thread. Thank you. You accused me of being a transformer, and I gotta tell you, that really hurt. It confused the hell out of me, but it also really hurt because I actually do wish I could be a transformer. It would help me out in a lot of ways. I mean, think about it. I want to be Bumblebee. Bumblebee's cute, he's fast, he's strong, can fix anything. Come on. So, anyway, And then you got angry with me because I wasn't hurt, because I was still trying to be positive to you, and I still the offer is still on the table that if you want to come back ever and be positive and have fun with us, then you're absolutely welcome. But if you're going to cut somebody down just because you're bored or you're sad or you're lonely, then it's not going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I have to say on that. Um, again, there were a lot of people mentioning Molly, and I'm not her, she's not me. Um, that's the funny thing. So when I was in that chat last night, Jen's chat, and I was, telling the truth, telling what really happened, and I said I will retract that, and I did. You just heard me at the beginning of my video, but let me think. Totally lost my train of thought. Um, oh no, I know what I was gonna say. Okay, sorry, squirrel. Um, so someone on the panel said, "Oh, that's that one girl with that one video." But I felt really lame because you guys, I had 95 videos out before that. Yeah. And like I said, and when I say I'm a newbie, I'm not a newbie to YouTube. I'm a newbie to being a channel. I'm a newbie to uploading content and to figuring out all the twists and turns around thumbnails and titles and all that stuff. And my channel has always been about nails, beauty, self-care. That's where the claws in my title comes from. That's my business name. It's Claws by Cutsy. And it's always been about that. Well, I have ADHD. I can never do one or two things. I can never do just like one thing at once. And I literally was in the salon world for almost 30 years, and that's what we did. We did manicures and we did colors and highlights, and we were in a room full of people, and we were talking, and we were talking about TV shows, and we were talking about, ooh, did you hear this? Did you see this on Unsolved Mysteries last night? Did you watch the Dateline episode? Did you do this? Did you do that? That's what we did. And so I kind of joked around early on about being the Walmart version of Bailey Sarian, you know, do some makeup, do some true crime. And I also started to see the community that I really liked watching start to turn down a street that was a little rougher. That's starting to go into the bad, turn to the bad neighborhood. You know what I mean? Um, and because I'm not one to get in, I don't get in drama. Now that's something else that, if you're friends with Molly, you can't tell me you're not in a drama. I didn't say I wasn't into it. I said I don't do it, okay? Um, and if you look at my channel, if you really just take a second and go back and look, I have from what I think is some really it's interesting to me content, stories that a lot of people don't know about. Unsolved cases like 50-year-old cases that are still unsolved. And I have a video up about this cabin massacre up in Michigan. Any of you like horror movies? Any of you watched Cabin in the Woods? This is the real deal up here, okay? And they had a suspect, but they could never get him. And the story behind it, you start listening to the story and you realize, oh, I know exactly what happened. I mean, and we all love a good mystery. Or I've got a 3-part series called SK Confessions. It is about a man from Alberta, Canada. these things just fall on my lap and they pop up on my TV and I watch them and sometimes they gain my interest and I think I want to tell everybody about this because this is just mind blowing. An SK Confessions series was one of those cases. This man from Alberta, Canada, was luring men in through Plenty of Fish. He was a obsessed with the show Dexter, and he was trying to live that out. And how he eventually got caught was the fool had written a, a manuscript, basically, and laid out every detail of his crime that he committed, like a story that you could read. And I've read all three parts, and it is in my playlists. Check it out. It's I have this voice. Some of you are going to be relaxed by it. So if you want to sit and listen to a story for a little while, I recommend those. It's good. It's scary. It's gory. It's scary. But I mean, holy cow, there's people like that out there. Or did you know that part of the Jeepers Creepers movie was inspired by an actual case out of Michigan? I have that video on there. It's like 15 minutes and it explains the whole thing. And it is scary. Excuse me. But that's the kind of stuff I'm into. Um, John Norman Collins. He's a Michigan serial killer. We're all into this Brian Kohlberger case right now. Do you know, if you watch my video, oddly enough, this happened back in, I can't remember. It's been a while since I did that video, but 50s, 60s. And do you know that Catherine Ramsland is tied to that case also? And again, a documentary I was searching for Michigan serial killers to try and get ideas on content. And this man popped up. I believe he was supposed to be one of our first serial killers. But anyway, um, he was an All American. He was the original co ed killer before um, Big Ed. And he was a frat boy. He was a college boy. He was handsome. That's how he got the girls to come to him. And one of the first murders that he committed, two young, like teenage boys, found the girl. And one of those two teenage boys were friends with Catherine Ramsland's brother. So maybe it was fate that she become what she became, you know? Um, and she would have just been a teenager then when that happened. So, I just found that I get into that kind of funny coincidences between things like that. But that's what my channel is about. Now, Marissa had said in an earlier video today that I sit in the bushes and I watch. And that made me laugh because I really don't. I am way too bougie to sit in the bushes, okay? And I'm allergic to everything. So in my mind, I have a golf cart that has Christmas lights all over it, okay? I've got popcorn and other snacks. I have a cooler that has Coke Zero in it. And I've got an ashtray. I got a smoke box. And I got a speaker if we can't hear the people on the panel. You're all welcome to come sit with me. I am either in listening to updates from Queen, listening to uh J is for Justice and her bajingo, because I think I'm sorry, it's hilarious. And BJ could really have fun with that instead of being so grumpy bear about it, you know? I mean, and that's the thing. If somebody is like making fun of me or whatever, I'm not going to get angry. I'm sarcastic and I'm going to just come back at you and be funny. You know? I mean, that's it. I know my weaknesses. I know We all do. We wake up every day in the morning and we know what's wrong with us. We're the first people in the morning that know. And a lot of times our brains are lying to us about what's wrong with us. But no, I don't do drama, but I enjoy watching it like everyone else. So if you want to come sit in my golf cart, I sit right in the front yard and I watch on the big screen. And a lot of times I'm on my TV. So I don't have a chat that I can actually chat in, but I'm watching because I laugh. If there's nothing on TV, I laugh. It's funny. It's funny. Okay? I mean, I didn't even know you could copyright roaches. I mean, I don't, like, what? I mean, it's crazy. The Davis family commented, like, it's wild out here. Like, no lie. Okay? Wow. Some of you, wow. I am just, oh my gosh, I mean, so yeah. And I don't mind. I mean, I'll talk some tea too. I don't have a problem with that either. But that was the reason why I did this channel because I thought I'm not going to go in and start junk with people. And I'm not going to I'm not somebody that goes real life. I don't agree with that. I never will, and I'm never going to do that. That's my own rule for myself. Y'all do whatever you want to do. I'm sorry if you decide to go real life on me. I really am boring. So, like maybe 1, 2 episodes. Somebody can clip me calling myself an investigator and we can laugh at that for years. I mean, I don't care. It's whatever. They say you haven't ever truly made it unless somebody doesn't like you. So, thanks. But yeah. So please, I did this all started because I learned a hard lesson and I trusted the wrong person. And I'm not going to do that again. And like I said, I'm not new to YouTube. I have been around since the vid. And I really didn't even realize for like the first year of watching people that there were live chats. Like I didn't even notice that. And just one day I happened to be watching on a phone, which I didn't normally do either. Click on it and I'm like, oh, there's people talking. But it was new and I didn't feel comfortable talking with them. So I didn't. I just listened and I read. I listened and I read. And I would actually, when I would be in the salon working late at night, I would have my phone or my tablet up on my station and we would be watching some of these true crime channels and or crime channels or whatever you want to call them. And it was fun, And so I do know a lot about a lot. And do I know what's true and what's not? Unless I've actually seen it debunked, then no, I don't. But I hold everybody at the same level, and that is what they are to me at the moment that I meet them. And yeah, and that goes for everyone. So I don't have a problem with anyone. I don't actually know any any channels or creators. Um I'm not here to do anything else other than just tell my stories and get women, people to feel good about themselves, whether it be through some of my self care videos, some of my tips, tricks, things like that. Whether it be telling a story about myself, about a stupid lesson that I learned, and being able to take criticism, being able to be told you did something really dumb, and I did. So yeah, I mean that's it. If you are into true crime and you want to know stories that haven't been unsolved and everything, check my page out. Go through my videos because they're all just in my videos, and I've got playlists. Um, there's another case that I'm following, and on I believe it's September 24th. That is supposed to go back to court. It's the case of Kelly Bryant, and she is out of Pontiac, Michigan. And she abandoned her 4 children, or was it 4? No, 3. 3 children in a townhouse for 4 years, literally by themselves, without any human contact except for each other. They were, I believe, 8, 9, and 11 when she last saw them. And the only reason they were found was because her, I believe it was her Section 8 got cut off. And so the landlord was not getting automatic rent payments anymore. And because the rent had come through every single month, like clockwork, for 5 years at that point, he had said, because she lived there for, well, 4.5. She lived there for a little bit before she left her kids completely alone. And he did a welfare check. And when police got there, I'm not going to spoil the story, but you can only imagine. 4 children living by themselves. The house was so disgusting. They had never been taught hygiene. They had never been taught safety. The girls, 2 little girls and a boy. The 2 little girls, their bed was pizza boxes. And the boy had a mattress that was completely covered in human waste. There were 2 bathrooms in the house that were unusable because she also never taught the children how to use the toilet, how to flush the toilet. The bathtubs were disgusting. So these children had not bathed. They had to be taught to brush their teeth when they got to the hospital. And she is, at every court appearance, giggling and laughing and smiling with her lawyers. And that's not okay. That's the worst of the worst. So the 24th, hopefully, I'll have an update about that. Finally, again, back to I am a facts person, and I really do like to stick to the facts. I don't like to put anything out there that I haven't already checked for myself and know if it's true or not. And my most recent story case that I'm following is the case of Starla Goings, and she is out of Munising, Michigan, which is up in the UP. Which, if you're not familiar with Michigan, the UP is the Upper Peninsula. We call it the UP. People from the UP are called Upers. Um, Yada yada. But anyway, the news reports, I went through about 3 or 4 sources, read all of the news reports, local and national news, and they basically said the same thing. Well, I had a comment come in on my video saying that I got the details wrong. And so I asked this person, I said, listen, these are the details that I got from, and these are my sources that I got them from. And these were direct quotes, allegedly, from the daughter of this woman that has gone missing. And I got my timeline corrected. So I had originally said that she left for the fair at midnight. And the fair was in Escanaba. And she lives in this area of Munising. So it's about a 2-hour drive. And I didn't understand why you would leave at midnight to go to a fair. Well, I was corrected. This person told me, now this is, again, but this makes more sense, that she went to the fair at 6:45 that evening and got back and then left her home again at noon. Or, excuse me, at midnight. And that was the last time she was ever seen. Her husband was the last person to see her. That has been corroborated. But he did not call in a missing persons report. Her daughter, who lives in Florida, had to call in a welfare check for her mother. And her daughter or her son-in-law. It was one of the two, but they called in a welfare check on her, and that was when police found out that she hadn't been seen since midnight on the night that she disappeared. And I'm not sure how. I don't have the facts in front of me right now, but it was not long after that they found her car in like a rideshare parking lot. And um I did hear on one report that I saw earlier today that police don't know, or they're not telling anyone whether or not they believe that the car was there because possibly she met her husband there and they took off to the fair in his car and that's why it's there, or because her car was put there and something has happened to her. Um, but in all accounts, this is not like her to just disappear. And I've gone through not only news reports, but I've looked on social media to try and find and corroborate the other details that this person told me. Um, Now, if you're watching, I gave you my email address, and you can also get a hold of me on Claws by Cutsy on Facebook Messenger. But if you can give me a source where I can corroborate those details, I have no problem putting those out there. I did hear this morning, though, the daughter has said that there is much more to the story that police do know, but that they would like her to kind of stay tight-lipped about it right now. And that as of right now, there is no person of interest. Um, and so I'm assuming, which that's one a mistake to do, I know, but some of the details that were told to me are probably some of those details. And so as soon as I find out um what's true and what's not, I will put those out there. Um because I have a really bad gut feeling about this. And as I learned in my first video, when I don't listen to my intuition is when I always make a mistake. If I don't if I go along with my intuition, I usually am good to go sailing down that river. Um Excuse me, I need to take my allergy pill. Michigan Fall, so much fun. Um but and when I don't, when I turn left instead of right, I always end up making a mistake. Which is why I know a lot, because I've messed up a lot in my life and I've learned my lesson, and so I try to pass it on to other people. But no, if you're from that area or if you see someone, I've got all of her information is in one of my shorts, and it's got all the police numbers. Michigan State Police is involved. Alger County Sheriff is involved. Um, I think that's it as of right now. But I've got the numbers and the contact details for both agencies. So if you know something, if you have any information, if you've seen her, you can call anonymously. Just please say something, because her family loves her. They miss her and they're worried about her. They're very worried about her. Um, and it's kind of getting that feeling that this is not just somebody trying to get away. But so on that note, I think that's it. So again, I don't do drama, but I enjoy it. Trust me. And the funny thing is my fiance is into it too. And he won't admit it, but he's into it. He'll ask me, what's so and so up to tonight? What's so and so talking about tonight? In fact, I always used to joke about that Queen Bee pretend stole my man, because I would be sitting here doing work or something like that, listening to somebody else, and he'd come in and be like, "Oh, you gotta put it on Queen," because he's a truck driver and he'd be on the road listening to this stuff. Okay, so like, yeah, so So everybody have a great day. Um, like I said, I hope this reaches the people that need to. I want to thank all my new subscribers. Like I said, I never in a million years. I don't know why. I mean, I just could not get out in that algorithm no matter what I tried to do. And so, I mean, I didn't want to have to go through this to do that, but sometimes good things come out of bad situations. So stick with me. I'm going to be doing more true crime stories. I don't claim to be anybody. I'm not Queen. I'm not Cluminati. I'm not J for Justice. I am not good at deep dives. I am not good at explaining legal terms or legal paperwork. I'm not. I'm not at all. But what I can do, and this is something that my friends and I joke about, like my real life friends, is that I can do crime drive-bys and I can make you aware of something that not a lot of people know about that needs to have some attention, that needs to be remembered, etc. And I can give you the details and I can give you resources to research further if you want. And we can have a little discussion over it. What do you think? Can you believe that? Yada yada. But I save the big girl work for the people that have paid their dues. And frankly, they're just really good at what they do. So, yeah. So, everybody have an awesome, what is this, Thursday? Have an awesome Thursday. And I will talk to you later. I will see you soon. Hopefully, with some updates on some of the cases and some new nails and maybe a little tea. I don't know yet. So, all right. Everybody have a great day. Mwah, 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 mwah. Happy Thursday. Cutsy out.